Afternoon, Gossip Talk Shows family. Is Nomsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice lit from within. With me today, I'm with Amanda Murray. How are you, Amanda?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Happy summer to everybody.
Happy summer, happy summer. How was your holiday?
It was really good. It's nice to get away with my daughter and have some time just to play.
Quality time together.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. So, our topic today is positive versus negative mindset. People with positive mindset tend to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles, and they are more likely to see failures as temporal setbacks rather than insurmountable. So, roadblocks and negative mindset. A negative mindset, conversely, is marked by pessimism, so self-doubt and tendency to dwell on problems. So today we're going to share some tips, guys, that can help you to understand the fixed mindset and growth mindset. Amanda, what do you think about this topic?
Well, I really like this topic because we talk a lot about it. I'm a teacher, and so we talk a lot about fixed mindset versus growth mindset in school, and how when we have a fixed mindset is like, I can't do this, instead of I can't do it yet, or the power of yet, even. Um, it allows kids to be like, okay, like once I practice this a little bit more, then maybe I actually can do it, and I just need a little bit more practice, or I just need some different strategies to get me there. And so whatever it is that kids are attempting to do or trying to do, we can use our mindset to actually help us get better in any area of our lives, actually. So if you want to get better at, say, maybe you want to learn how to ride a bike, because so many of us can ride a bike, but when you're very first starting, you can't, right? It's like, and if you just say like, it's impossible, I can't do it right at the start, then that's a like negative fixed mindset, right? Because you just can't do it yet. But if you practice and you try and you practice and you try, and then you get somebody to help you, eventually you're able to ride a bike, or you use the training wheels, and then you you get to where you can ride a bike. And then for the rest of your life, you still can get on a bike generally and ride it, right? And that's something that we learn usually when we're quite young, or some people even learn it as an adult. I know even I used to teach swimming lessons, and I was always like so empowered. I felt so empowered by people who were adults and coming to me for swimming lessons and learning how to swim for the first time ever. I was like, wow, like this is so brave. People who are like terrified of the water, and like they're like, no, like their mindset is like, I'm going to learn how to swim. And it was just always like so inspiring to be around them, because they didn't let their age stop them from learning to do something that they really wanted to do, which I thought was such a great way to go about life. And I wish that more people would do that. So if there's something that you've always wanted to do, maybe it is learn how to swim, then start. Like even last year I was swimming at the Y by my house, and there was these two men, and they were um probably in their like 30s, and they were like in the pool like trying to learn how to swim with like belts on, and they were like, I don't know where they were from, probably somewhere in Africa, and they were here like learning how to swim. It was so cute, and they were like, how do you get it to go forward? Like they were trying to practice for their swimming lessons that they were going to start next week, and I just gave them like a couple of tips, and then they were able to like move forward because they kept moving backwards when they were trying to kick. And just like that mindset of like, I'm going to try, I'm going to get there, no matter what it is that's like stopping you. And so I think that's such a good topic, and it's such a good way to like go about life, is to think about things of like, what is it that I want to try, and then take steps to get there. But if you never take steps to get there, you're never going to get there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amanda. Sometimes you have to, because when we have a fixed mindset, it means like everything, like you say, everything I can't. Like we, we had something going on in this area where we are, because the children, they play outside together. And like where we are, we have a big garden, so children can call the neighbors and they'll play outside. So one day they were playing outside, my next door neighbor's daughter, and she got all the kids together. And then all of a sudden, I see the kids, they're all, after a few days, they're all riding bikes. I was like, you didn't ride a bike before. Why are you all riding bikes? And she was like, I've been teaching them to ride bikes. I was really shocked, Amanda. I was like, oh my God. Even with my daughter, I've been trying to teach her to ride a bike. And she was like, she's riding a bike and then she's not doing it properly. And then I was like, I gave up. And then all of a sudden, she's actually riding a bike fast. I was like, okay, that is amazing. You see children for you. They're not scared of anything. It's just, they just want to try. So,
Also, they
yeah.
see other confidence from other kids, because kids look at it from a different perspective. I always find that sometimes when a kid isn't getting something and I'm trying to like teach it to them, I'll get another kid to show them. I'll be like, hey, you know how to do this. Why don't you show them how to? And for whatever reason, it always, if somebody's really stuck on something, sometimes getting another kid to show them, or if they have like a block too about trying it, that they can sometimes get it when another kid shows them, because there's just that like little bit of like, oh, I was just learning how to do this too, and now I get it, and here's why I get it. And that I've seen that with riding bikes too, like just other kids give other kids like more inspiration to try. And it's amazing when you just leave kids to like play is so important, to just play for a while. They actually like come back learning new things, which is amazing.
Yeah, they help each other out, and there's no fear. But with us adults, I think there's this pride where we don't really want to be seen making mistakes. Everything has to be so perfect. If I make a mistake, then people are gonna start judging me. So we actually label ourselves that I can't do this. And children, on the other hand, their attitude is so different. They're like, whatever you put in front of me, I will do it. Whatever it takes, I will do it. Because even them, when they start like getting 16 or 18, they'll start like worrying about what they do. But the age below that, they're like, just whatever you want me to do, I'll do it, which is the right attitude. I think even us adults, we should be doing that. So, Amanda, what advice can you give someone? I know you work with the children a lot. What advice can you give somebody who is like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want people to judge me. And they don't really go for the things that they want to do because they're scared of being judged.
I think we really have to just learn to let go of worrying about what other people think of you. And that's something that I think so many of us struggle with, is just like learning to like let go of societal expectations, let go of the pressure we're putting on ourselves, let go of, especially like probably one of the biggest indicators for me always for things that I've wanted to do and then has stopped me, is like my family, and letting them like be in my head, like, why do you want to do that? Or this is stupid, you shouldn't do that. Like I remember I wanted to take my master's degree, and my dad was like, why are you going to make more money when you finish your master's? I was like, no, not unless I become a principal. And then his aunt was like, why the hell are you doing it then? And I was like, because I want to. I want to learn. I love learning. I love like I'm really inspired by getting up and learning and pushing myself. And I was like, I just was blown away by that. Like, don't you think you'd be like, wow, like this is so great. My like daughter got into her master's program. No, that was the answer from my parents. Was essentially, are you going to make more money? Well, not unless I become a principal. Well, then why are you doing it? And I was like, that like or just be like grateful, right? that I went and I tried and I put myself out there to see if I could get in to a graduate program, and I did. And when you have people like that in your life, it's really hard to get out of your shell and be willing to try things that you didn't want to try before, right? Because you have these people talking to you saying, you can't do it, or why are you doing this? This is dumb. When really you just need to like block them out and ignore them and be like, this is something I want to do. And I don't care what you think. And I think that's something that more of us need to do, especially if it is something like, say you want to write a book. Well, if somebody's like, who's going to read that anyways? Right? Does it matter? Does it matter? There's books that I've written that I don't know if anybody's read, because I just I wrote them for myself, or I wrote them for the kids in my class, and I read them to the kids in my class. And it's so the kids view me as a writer, and that when I ask them to write, they're more willing to write too, because they're like, oh, like she writes all the time. So then I can learn how to write too, because I see my teacher as a writer and I want to write that way. I'm okay with writing too. And that when we model things for kids, and we model things that at putting ourselves out there and trying something new, then the people around us are more willing to do that too. I remember when I first wanted to start doing things outside of my regular job, which is teaching, I was like, I have all these ideas and I don't know where to start. And I went to my one friend who's an entrepreneur, and I was like, how did you get started and where did you start and what like was it that made you start? And she's like, whatever ideas you have, just start. Doesn't matter. Just start. Do what it is that you enjoy and just start. It doesn't matter where you start. You just have to start. And I was like, that was like the best advice I could have ever been given, because it made me be like, oh, I don't have to know which one to take or what. She's like, your path will take you in the right direction. You just have to be willing to start. And that was just like mind blowing to me, because I had grown up in a situation like I already had finished my master's at the time that I met this entrepreneur that I became really good friends with. And yeah, she was just like, just start wherever you are, and life will take you in a direction that you never expected, but you have to be willing to start. And so that would be the advice that I would give somebody, is just whatever it is that you want to do, just like take the first step, just start. Doesn't matter if you end, you're never going to see the ending of your story. It's the journey that counts. And so learning along the way, that will help empower you and help you like learn and grow the whole time. And it doesn't matter where, it matters that you start and that you enjoy the journey, I think, is more important than the end point. It's the journey along the way, and just being willing to do what it is that you love and do what it is that you want to do, and not be afraid to try. So many of us as adults are afraid to try. And even kids at not in kindergarten, they're not afraid to try. But like once they get into like by grade 3, they start being afraid to try. And that's really sad. And I don't know what it is that causes that. But it would be so great if we just were like, I'll try, right? I'll try. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect, just I'll try.
I like that, Amanda, when you say that just start, whatever you want to do, just start, because everything we do is in our thoughts. Whatever the decision that we do is all our thoughts, is all our beliefs. Whether and if it's positive thinking, it's our thoughts, our determination. Whatever we do, it shapes our lives, our action, influences the people that we have around us, our feelings, impact. So all those things, they influence our decision. So there is never a good time. Like I was asking my spouse the other day, I wanted to do something which involves traveling. So I realized that with my business, I can be anywhere in the world doing my business. Gossip talk shows, I can broadcast anywhere in the world. So I was like, okay, someone gave me an offer. This guy is one of the footballers was like, we can do this together and stuff. So, and my spouse was like, there's no way that you can do this. What about the kids and stuff? So I was like, yeah, the kids. So, like today, I was here in the house and I came up with the idea. I was like, yeah, that is an idea. Like, I can get somebody like an au pair full time to actually be at home so that when I'm away, they can look after the kids and he'll be around as well. So that would be a good idea. So I was like, okay, now I need to sit down and have a meeting with them first with these people. I'm not going to say anything with him. I'll sit down with the people, have a meeting, because for me, there's no point in telling people if the deal is not worth it. So I was like, if the deal is worth it, then I'll go for it. But if I was to ask, like first, I never ask myself because I know that if I say to some people, let's do this, it's always like, no, 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 I'm saying you can't do that. So I like Amanda's idea of just go for it, just start. It's never a good idea. Even when you tell people like Amanda, you were saying about the book, let's write a book, and people be like, no one will read that. Why would you want to write a book? Why? So don't do it. Don't do it. So it's important to surround ourselves with the people that influence us to become who we want to become and determine as well, because the journey, the determination and the journey is not easy as well. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Amanda, apart from like from shape, or do you want to just
Yeah, when I wrote my first book, the thing that I thought in my head was just, even if it helps one kid, then it was worth it, right? Because my first book was called It's Okay to Feel. And I originally I just planned on making one copy of it and having it in my classroom and being able to use it with the kids that I work with so that we could talk about like when they have big feelings that it's okay, but like what is it that is causing those feelings and how can we deal with them appropriately so that we can then like go about our lives so that we're not like stuck in our heads essentially. And um and then the world had a different plan for me where I met people that taught me how to self-publish on Amazon. And then I've had like numerous books now on Amazon. And it's it's just like you just have to start, right? My intention wasn't to have anything for anybody else. It was just for like me within my classroom that I wanted to like do this, and I love to draw and paint, and that was like, okay, I'm just going to do this for my kids in my classroom. But then if it helps one kid, then it was worth it, right? And so whatever it is that you want to write, if you're a writer or if you want to start writing, is just write. It might just be that it was for yourself, and that's okay too, right? And if it helps somebody else along the way, then great. And through this journey, I've been able to learn how to like teach other people how to self-publish on Amazon too. And it just is really powerful when you start somewhere, you never know where you're going to end up down the road. And that's a really like sometimes a scary thought, or it's could be an exciting thought. It depends on what your mindset is. And if you can also have like two different emotions for any one event, which I think sometimes we forget to talk about. We forget to talk about the fact that we can feel two things about the same thing. And that's completely okay. So we can feel excited and nervous at the same time. And we can feel jealous but joyful at the same time too. And that's something that actually I never really like completely thought about until I read my book to my class. And I asked them, I said, do you ever feel jealous? And they were like, yeah, I feel jealous and happy sometimes at the same time. And I was like, oh, why? And they're like, well, when you're like at a birthday party and your friend gets all these presents and they're like really cool and you wish you had them, but you're also happy for your friend at the same time. And I was like, oh, that's like such a powerful way to think for somebody that's in grade 3, that they can already identify that they can have mixed emotions for the same topic. And it depends on which one they want to focus on, that allows them to either like have fun with their friend or be like super jealous and angry, right? And then how they choose to navigate that. And so I think sometimes we always have like dueling emotions about different things, and it's which emotion you choose to focus on that's going to determine how you view the world and how you show up in the world. And so our negative versus our positive mindset is always almost dueling each other. And I think that's something that we sometimes don't recognize, and it's which little voice, when you have like those pictures of like the angel on one side and the devil on the other side, and it's like it's which voice you choose to listen to that's going to determine your outcome, because you always have those dueling voices of positive and negativity in any situation.
And the negative voice, the voice of the devil, just listen to that voice that tells you that you can do it. Even if sometimes you find yourself, you're like, I can't do this, but supercharge your energy, because energy is everything. When you change your energy, you change how you think, everything just changes. Because, like, even myself, sometimes if I want to do something, if I tell myself that I can't do it, then I'm not going to do it. But if I'm like, okay, it's going to be a challenge, but I will do it. I find myself doing it. I think it's all about supercharging your energy, and also the environment where you are in, and your beliefs as well. Changing our beliefs system is everything, how we are able to move forward with lives. Like Amanda, she's written so many books, but if she had this mindset that, you know what, no one is going to read my books, no one is going to listen to me, she wouldn't have been where she is. But she was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. Artist. She was like, I'll write it. And once you start something, you start enjoying it. You start like ideas, they start coming up, but you just need that first step, stepping forward and taking action. I think is very, very, very important. And um, how can you like work on your confidence, Amanda? Because confidence is needed in doing all these. Like when it comes to positive mindset, your confidence has to be in the right place. So what advice can you give anyone like right now struggling, like, I love to do these things, but confident wise, I'm not confident within myself?
I think one of the things on all the research, and one of the things that I did for myself, was writing down things that I'm grateful for each and every day. And when you start to focus on your gratitude, it actually starts uplifting you in other areas as well. And so it can help you build confidence in other areas. And so I would really just say is to really start being conscious of your thoughts. And when you notice things stirring up that are helping you lack confidence or causing you to lack confidence, then just become aware of it. And when you have that awareness, that's when you can't stop something until you're actually aware of it. And so when you have awareness of like, oh, my mindset's going to the negative right away, then you can take a pause and be like, what is it that caused that? And then you can be like, okay, I'm going to shift my mindset to like, what can I learn from this situation? Or how is it that this is teaching me something? Or how can I look at this from a different perspective? And so when you start to teach your mind to pause and think about that, then you're able to navigate it in a different way. Whereas at the start, when you're not conscious of it, you just do your knee-jerk reactions that are the way that you've always shown up in the world and continue, and everything will continue the same way that it did before. Whereas if you choose to show up differently and you choose to make conscious decisions to change, then you have the power to change. But if you're not making those conscious decisions, it's going to just fall back to your habits, and you're going to go back to the same habits that you had before, and the same problems will show up over and over and over again. And so it's really learning how to change your habits and to form different habits, I believe, that is going to allow you to boost your confidence in any area. So if you want to boost your confidence in speaking, let's say you want to be a speaker, then start speaking, right? And start giving yourself tools that are going to allow you to build confidence in that area. If you want to, I don't know what it is that you could, maybe if you want to learn to dance. I've always said that I wanted to learn to do a dance class, because I never did dance classes as a kid, and I've never gone and taken one. And sometimes I think, like, my daughter doesn't know if she wants to sign up for volleyball this year or not. And that volleyball took up a lot of our time last year, but I'm really tempted to just sign us both up for like a mom and daughter dance class for the fall, so that we have something to go to together each and every week if she chooses not to play volleyball. But in order to like build confidence in volleyball, you have to practice volleyball. To build confidence in any area, it is something that you have to show up consciously to each and every day, or each and every week, or at least once a month, to build confidence in that area. Otherwise, you're just going to be the same in that area all the time. If you want to build confidence at going to the gym, you actually have to get up and go to the gym, so that you can build confidence in that area. And I think sometimes we forget about that. We're just like, oh, I don't have any confidence in that area, so I'm not going to do it. But in order to build confidence in that area, you actually have to force yourself to do it and get up and be there and show up for yourself. You don't have to show up for anybody else. You're showing up for you. And that's something that we sometimes forget, is that you're not showing up for anybody else in this world. You're showing up for yourself. And if you want to show up as the best version of yourself, you have to be conscious of your thoughts and conscious of the choices that you make each and every day, and what your habits are that cause your life to be the way that it is. And so when you change your habits, you actually change your life.
That's true. Actually, that's true, Amanda, because our habit is everything. When we change our habit, we change everything, and also our belief system as well. Like I said before, when it comes to positive thinking and taking action, and like Amanda saying, her daughter has to make a decision. Somehow, she's gonna have to make that decision. I hope she does not take the easy way out. I hope she doesn't take the easy way out. So yeah, it's very, very important for me. Like my daughter, I was telling my friend today that my daughter calls me a mean mom, because they make this decision that they're gonna do something, but whenever they want to opt out, they think that they can opt out. But I'm like, that's not how it works. You have to commit to something. If you say you're gonna do this, you commit to it and just do it. So it's very, very, very important. And also people around us as well. It depends whether we have these positive people around us. Uh, People positive, if people we are surrounded, people we hang out, the foundation of our lives, those people who influence us. There are people that may say, okay, don't do this, and when you do that, some people simply they stop talking to you because you made the right decision. They're like, I don't recognize this person, I don't want to be this person. And if I do want to be this person, if I do want to be with this person, and that means the decision they are making is no longer suit my own needs, so I don't have to be. And you'll find that people will actually drop everything that they are meant to be doing to please that relationship. Or even when it comes to dating, when people are dating, they give the other person will give you an ultimatum and say, if you don't want to stop this, then our relationship is not going to work. But to me, I've met people that they will gracefully, they'll tell me that I gave my wife an ultimatum that if she doesn't do this, if she doesn't stop doing that, I was like, but you cannot stop somebody following their dreams. You don't have that authority. And they think it's fine. I was like, you can't do that to a human being. So every woman out there who is listening, if you're watching, guys, if you do get married to somebody, please do not put your dreams on hold because you want to please your relationship. Because there is no guarantee that that relationship is going to last forever. When it doesn't last, that's when people will start saying, I put my life on hold for him. I put my life on hold for her. Who does she think she is now? She's telling me that is over, blah, blah, blah. So might as well follow your dreams, guys. For me, I always tell my spouse that, listen, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, as long as I'm following my dreams, you can't stop me becoming the person that I want to become, because that means we're not meant to be together if you stop me to become who I need to become.
I think that's really important, is thinking about like who in your life is holding you back, because sometimes we just think that it's ourselves, right? And then if you really like just sit with that for a minute and think about the people, it's really sometimes too the people that you choose to surround yourself with that have so much impact on the position that you're in or on your mindset too. And so really taking a good look at who you're surrounding yourself with and starting to surround yourself with people who are uplifting is probably a really good tool to help with changing your mindset and reaching your goals, is because when we're surrounding ourselves with people who are striving to be better versions of themselves, then it's almost natural that that energy wears off on you, right? And so when I was in school to be a teacher, I took this course on youth at risk. And one of the biggest takeaways from that course was that it doesn't matter who your parents are or how educated they are or how wealthy they are or what part of town your parents live in, that will determine if your child is going to be at risk or not. What determines if your child's going to be an at-risk youth or not is who they choose to surround themselves with. And so you need to be, as a parent, really cautious of who your kids' friends are, and really make an effort to ensure that your kids' friendships from a very young age are positive influences on their life, because that's actually the biggest indicator of if your kid will be an at youth at risk youth or not is who their friends are. And that was like mind-blowing to me. And then we had in the course this kid come in, and he was a kid who had been in a lot of trouble, and his dad was like a former like big high-end lawyer, and his mom was like a high-end nurse. And so like clearly from a very well-to-do family. And he said, there's nothing that my parents could have done to change my mind or get me out of this, because all I cared about was my friends, and they were all that was important to me. And so he lied, he stole, he did all these different drugs and all these things, and then he had to hit his own rock bottom to get himself out and start surrounding himself with different people. And any person that's been an addict that I've talked to who's been able to get themselves out of their addictions has actually been like, I had to remove myself completely from everyone that was in my life that was like helping not helping my addiction, but like allowing me to continue my addiction. So even when an addict goes to rehab, like, yes, they're able to like go to rehab and get better. But then as soon as they're put back in the same scenario that they were put back in before going to rehab, they end up back in rehab again and again and again. And it's because they don't change how they're showing up once they're out, and they don't change who they're surrounding themselves with once they're out. So anybody that I know who's actually been able to overcome their addiction actually said, like, I had to physically get myself up and move to a different town, move to a different province, move to a different state, move to a different country to get myself out of that scenario, to allow myself to not be surrounded with other addicts so that I continued my addiction. Otherwise, I would still be an addict. And so we don't realize how much impact the people that we surround ourselves have on us. And I really, from that course, as in my degree, to what I've seen in real life, who we surround ourselves with has such a huge impact on our lives. And that's really something that we need to be aware of. And I'm not saying like you make a list of all the bad people in your life and like you're like, no, you're out, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm just saying, like, take a look at it and then make a conscious effort to spend more time with people who are doing inspiring things. And it doesn't even have to be somebody that you know in real life. It could be somebody that you follow on social media or podcasts that you start listening to, or maybe you make a new friend because you decide to go to an entrepreneur's like conference or something, or a writer's conference, or you start listening to podcasts that really inspire you and uplift you and start to help you be able to think differently and to become aware of your negative and positive thinking. And it really is like who you choose to surround yourself with digitally, what you choose to watch on TV, what you choose to listen to, all of those things impact your mindset. And so when you start to change what it is that you're listening to, what it is that you're watching, who you're surrounding yourselves with, that's when your life will really begin to change. And that's when you're able to shift your mindset from a negative to a positive one, is when you start surrounding yourselves with positivity in all areas of your life. And just take like one step at a time. Be like, I'm going to listen to one inspiring podcast this week. I'm going to start following people on Instagram or TikTok or wherever your social media is that have a really powerful message, like Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you listen to anything that he does, he's everything I see of his is just
What's
like,
his name, Amanda?
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah. He's written like You Are the Placebo and a number of other books. He was in The Secret, a movie that was out like a long time ago about, probably came out like 13 years ago or 14 years ago, all about mindset and how our mind determines what shows up in our lives. And he basically was in a car accident, or not a car accident. He was riding his bike and somebody hit him, and the doctors told him he was never going to be able to walk again. And he used the power of his mind to basically like get to the point where he could walk again. And he walked out of the hospital, I think 3 months after his accident, and the doctors had told him he'd never be able to walk again. And so he is a very empowering story. And then ever since then, all of his research has
I know him.
Yeah. He's everything I hear of his, and all of the research that they're doing in his organization is just so powerful. And so there's one person to start following right there.
I think personally, for me, I believe that whatever you believe, if you believe that you can, everything you believe will come to reality. If you believe that you can get to where you need to be just by having the mindset, if you work on your healing, whether it's healing or whether it's business wise, whatever where you want to reach, I believe that you get there eventually, as long as you don't give up, because along the way we might fall. So you just have to surround yourself with people that will tell you that, you know what, Nomsa, you can do this, even if they are scared for me. So that, like, if you get those people, I like Amanda as well when you say one step at a time, a baby step. So it's very, very important. The decisions that we make in life, they determine where we get to be tomorrow. And for me, I am that person that I just go for my dreams. I just do things. I've been insulted in so many ways by people, by my family members. And sometimes when I make a decision, my mom, she's learned so much from me. If I tell my mom don't disagree with whatever I ask. Honestly, if I say, Mom, I'm going to do this, she'll be like, okay, I'm giving you my blessings. When do you start? So I can start praying for you. So she never really disagree because she knows that whatever I say I will do, I'll put that energy in it and then I'll go and I'll do it regardless of what. I don't make any excuse. And also sometimes we worry about people that they're going to judge us if we don't succeed. They're going to look at us different. They're going to do this, they're going to do this. But don't worry about what people think. People's opinions, they're not a God. Just do what you got to do. Like Amanda is saying, do what you got to do. Start. The most important thing is to begin somewhere. Once you begin, find somebody like who can hold you accountability partner, and just do it. If it's a business, just do it and just do it and just do it. And I find that it's easy to actually go for what you want when you actually take this baby step and reevaluating everything if things go wrong. I don't know, Amanda, if you have anything that you want to add as well. And mostly, yeah, I have to read more about this Joe Dispenza. Is a very inspiring guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna just add to like once you start, you have to have consistency to keep going. So one of the other things about like if you have success in any area of your life is that you actually have the resiliency to keep going no matter what roadblocks show up in your life that may pause it or stop it or shift your direction. Is that no matter what, you just keep going and have that consistency, because consistency is everything. And so I like how you talked about having an accountability partner to help you show up for the things in your life that it is that you want to do. And there's just so many things that when our habit is to like start and stop and start and stop and start and stop, while maybe getting an accountability partner or a coach or somebody that's going to hold you accountable for what it is that you say that you want to do, so that if it is that you want to write a book, well, when are you going to write it by? Put a timeline limit on it. What is the step that you're going to do this week? What's the step you're going to do next week? So that by the end of this year, your book's written, right? And so there's so many things that we just keep putting off. And I know for myself, in the summer, I've been like, I had all of these things that I wanted to do on my list, and I've just been like, I'm just gonna enjoy summer, and been on like we've been on holidays and we've been all over the place. And I usually write down like 3 things that I want to accomplish each and every day, and then I make sure that I do them, and writing things down makes it so much more likely that you will do it. But I've taken like a 2-week break from that to just be like, I'm just going to enjoy summer with my daughter because I'm a teacher and I have the summer off. And we've been on like this big road trip for 2 weeks. But now that I'm home and I'm back, and I'm like, okay, I need to get focused on my goals again, and having that accountability where you're actually going to show up and actually going to do the things that you say you're going to do. That's one of the biggest things. And so having a journal, or I have a goals and gratitude journal that I made on Amazon that I write in each and every day, minus these 2 weeks. um, to just keep me accountable, to keep me focused. I write it in the morning and I write it in it at the end of the day. And it's just a like less than 5-minute activity to start my day off in the right direction and to end my day off with gratitude and to like check on my day. Did I accomplish my goals? Did I do the 3 things I said I was going to do? And usually one of them is about writing, one of them is about exercising, and then one of them is something else that I need to get done that day. And so just holding yourself accountable to do those things. And if you can't do it yourself, then get a coach that's going to set up goals for you each and every week and hold you accountable to doing them.
Yeah, it's very, very important to have that person that can just support you to say, have you done what you say you're gonna do? Or just discipline yourself. For me, if I'm doing something, I get somebody to hold me accountable. And once I get used to it, then now I have to be disciplined. Now I have to do it because I have to think that if I don't do it, no one else will do it for me. Not even my children and not even their father, because I have to do for me the things for me that I said I would do. And I never ever put your life on hold, guys. Even like with my children, they would tell me that my friends are doing this, mommy, I go to hang out with my friends. And I'm like, your destinies are different with your friends. So you go do what you got to do. If your friends really, really, truly support you, they will stand by you and they'll support you. They'll always be there for you. But sometimes some friends come and go. And there's friends that will come for a season, they come for a certain time and then they leave. So I'm like, don't put your life on hold because you say, I have to hang out with my friends, I have to do this. I'm like, if you can sacrifice 1 hour to do what you have to do, and then give that 5 hours. When my daughter challenges me, we count the hours. I go and count the hours. And then I will show her and I'll be like, what you need to do, it takes you half an hour. So you have 5 hours. So that means you have 4.5 hours to hang out with your friends. So give yourself that half an hour to do what you got to do for your future. And then you go and hang out with your friends because at the end of the day, they're not going to be there when future knocks and like who we become, we are on our own. So it's very, very important, guys. Any words of encouragement, Amanda?
Yeah, just to, sorry, I thought I was muted still. Whatever it is that you choose to do, start. And then make sure that you have a plan to make sure that you're going to be consistent and keep showing up for yourself. Because really, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing or what anybody else says. You need to learn to ignore those physical people's voices that are stopping you and shutting you down, but you also need to ignore whichever little voice you're hearing that's stopping you from doing what it is that you truly want to do. And so there's so many tools that you can have to shift yourself from negativity to positivity. And one of them is just really becoming aware of it. And that's basically the first step, I think, is just heightening your awareness of how you're showing up and then taking steps towards where you want to be. And I'm super grateful to be here, and it was lovely to chat this morning. Or I guess this afternoon for you. It's 6 a.m. here where I am.
For me, guys, it's very simple. Show up for yourself. Work on your negativity. If you feel that there is part of you that you need to work on it and show up for yourself. No one will show up for yourself. Work on your mindset. Positive thinking is very, very important. You can actually even write like your thoughts, be aware of your thoughts, and then you look at what shapes your life, your determination, your action, or what influence the people that influence you, your feelings, the impact of if you don't do what you say will do, how your tomorrow is going to look like. and your belief system as well. Make sure that your belief system carries you to where you need to go, no stagnation. There are some people who use a religion, they'll say, I'm a Christian, I can't do this, I can't do that. And they just hide behind the religion, they hide behind the culture, you name it, people do that. And also, the one important thing, be aware of your mind. Don't let your mind take you back to your past, because that is a stagnation. When your mind reproducing past over and over, it's a stagnation. So that's what I leave you guys with. And if you're watching us from YouTube, please subscribe, guys, on Facebook, LinkedIn, share our live, and join the group. We have a Billionaire Mindset and Unique Billionaire Mindset group and Gossip Talk Shows group. Please do join our groups. And God bless everyone and live with grace.